Thank you all for being here, and thank you for being here. This means so much to us. I'm very nervous. I'm trying not to stammer. Okay, when it came time to decide who we wanted to present our 2025 Icon Award to, we all talked this summer in spring. Angelica Ross. It was like, oh my God, yes. So we checked with Angelica's people. The timing worked, so we're like so grateful. I'm still nervous. Anyway, so I'm gonna read an introduction, and then we're gonna let Angelica talk to Ava Davis from our team for about 20 minutes. Okay. Angelica Ross is an award-winning and Emmy-nominated actress, producer, writer, human rights advocate, singer-songwriter, and star of Pose, an American Horror Story on FX, and Broadway's Chicago. Miss Ross also works behind the camera. She has executive produced and appeared in the daytime Emmy-nominated web series King Esther, and in the short film Misconnections, which went on to be an official selection at Outfest, the La Femme International Film Festival, and the Baltimore International Black Film Festival. Ross is the president of Miss Ross Incorporated and founder of Trans-Tech Social Enterprises, an award-winning program that helps people lift themselves out of poverty through technical training, digital work, creating a social impact, resource sharing, and bringing economic empowerment to marginalized communities with a focus on Black, queer, and trans. For the positive portrayals you continue to bring forward to and about our community, and your work toward activism, Out on the Film proudly presents you the 2025 Icon Award.
Yeah! Woo-hoo! Yes! Yes! Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Everyone knows our coverage. So much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ava Davis from our team is going to do it. Ava, thank you so much.
Yes!
Thank you. You know what? I'll let you take that too.
Absolutely.
Yes. Just want to make sure they can see the shoes a little bit.
It's very important to see the shoes. They're amazing. Okay, one more time for Miss Ross. I can't believe I'm saying it. It is such an absolute honor to sit here with you today. I mean, personally, you've been an icon for me, and you were a huge part in me knowing that it was okay to transition. Seeing you as a Black actress on Pose was just everything, and in 2019 I was like, well, if Miss Ross can do it, so can I.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yes.
But I always like to start with the question, what would you like to talk about?
Oh.
And I'll give you a second to think
No.
about that if you need.
I just like, one, I want to talk about this outfit. I want to talk about this outfit. The reason why I want to talk about this outfit.
It has a story.
It has a story behind it. So some of you might recognize this outfit from season 10 of American Horror Story, when I played the alien Theta. Yes, and so this was created custom couture by just the amazing stylist there and the team there. And so we were wrapping up filming on American Horror Story, and at the time, in my head, there was a little talk going around as we were wrapping it up what the next season was going to be. Y'all heard about that. We'll go past that, but because that season did not happen. But as we were leaving, someone said, "My goodness, that is so beautiful on you. That you should ask them if you could keep it." And I want to say they originally said no or something like that. The wardrobe department was trying to say no, and Sarah Paulson turned and said, "No, honey, that's yours." And she said, "I'm executive producer. You can keep it." So that's why this is now in my closet. And I figured, for an iconic moment, why not wear an iconic outfit?
I also just want to say, y'all missed the entrance. this cape in the back turns into a hood. It was a
Oh yeah, they
full
saw it when I came in with the
moment.
hood. Yeah.
I mean, I was just like, oh yes.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Miss Ross.
Thank you.
I really don't know where to start. Let's start with acting. How about that?
Yes.
And I was reading in a lot of your stuff, you found theater to be a safe haven. What has your journey been like since that moment you first stepped stage way back when? Not way back when, but a couple of years ago.
But it is way back when. A girl's 44 years old. I'll be 45 in November, baby.
Oh, November.
November. I'm a Sagittarius, full blown.
Oh, okay. Sagittarius.
I know y'all can tell.
I still love you. I'm
yes,
Scorpio.
thank you so much. Yes. So, I started out doing musical theater for about 11 years in my small town, Racine, Wisconsin. And, there was like a Mormon lady that ran the whole thing. There was very white kind of centered space. But I kept getting the lead role in these musicals that we were doing as kids. And then I got too old for the Racine kid players and then got into the Racine youth players. And so when I was in the youth players, they did blind casting and saw a role on Broadway in Greece where Billy Porter was playing Teen Angel. So they decided to cast me as Teen Angel in that town play. I later was able to tell Billy Porter that once we were on the set of Hoes,
God.
But just this full circle moment that people don't know how they're pioneering and doing things just by the way that they show up. And so I say that because sometimes we think about the work and people get so caught up in the fame, in the outcome of what things look like, but the work will speak for itself in a way that when you show up, like I showed up for Candy, I will say that so much, but I'll just say that I learned over years how to be a ham through musical theater, movement, all those different things. And so I had difficulty in high school and things like that because I was this talented kid, but I was figuring some things out.
Okay.
I thought I was just gay, but honey, it was far deeper than that.
Well, you bring up a really interesting point, and I noticed that too in my acting journey, especially after I transitioned. It was different, and talking about that moment before and after being able to show up to roles fully as yourself is a game changer. And then did you find yourself playing catch up then, because people have known themselves for a lot longer and you're just coming into knowing yourself? And I feel like for acting, knowing yourself is so important.
Well, the great thing for me, and what I've tried to show other trans people too, is I've actually always known who I was.
Oh, okay.
Who I am. So all of this was just cherry on the top, I learned I was actually becoming more of myself, not becoming something else. I was becoming more. It's literally like understanding a seed of a flower is a seed, and then it becomes more and more, and it brings its own unique fragrance into this environment. And so when I kind of really recognized that, it was more about, I was doing drag in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at first, at La Cage in 219 and all that. And then I was doing shows at the Kit Kat Lounge in Chicago, and for like 4 years. And at one point I was like, why am I lip syncing when I have a voice? I had been singing before, I'd been doing all these things before, but I couldn't transition my voice vocally. I was this very femme thing and had this voice that I didn't know how to use yet. But through vocal training, I was able to reach into now a bitch be singing. I know y'all know I got music out there. Her, Grand Theft Lover, Only You, download now. So really I was able to become more myself, and I went from an experience of being in college in acting class and being so scared because no one knew I was trans. And I was doing these scenes across these male actors and just feeling so nervous because you have to get so close, so intimate, and you are afraid of being seen at that moment. And I just remember being so terrified, and they never found out. And then when I did Her Story, which I don't know if any of you have seen Her Story, an Emmy-nominated short series on YouTube, you can see it. And when I did that, I remember we were doing a scene, and I just remember crying and breaking down in one of the scenes because I realized that this was the first time I was able to let go, because the guy behind the cameraman was here with us. I wasn't hiding, so I wasn't scared how close they were getting. The script was written by a trans woman, so I could trust the language. Same thing when it went over to pose. So I was able to experience things that affirmed my journey. Ryan Murphy, when I walked into the room, I was not even nowhere on the script, on the page. I was auditioning for Blanca or Electra. I was like, no, I don't want to be the mother just yet. I'll let Dominique do it. She's sick in there. But, and I was like, Blanca, well, I know that means white in Spanish, so that don't sound one way or another, my role. And so I decided not to audition.
Okay.
And my team was like, no. You're going to sit in audition, you're going to read for this. And so I read for it, got the call back, went into the callback in New York. And after that callback, after Ryan Murphy meeting me, after me showing my personality and what I could do, he wrote the role of Candy for me. It wasn't even in the plan.
Wow.
So then, when I got on set, and I realized, oh, that means I'm actually I'm not in the script for the first couple episodes. And I don't think Ryan Murphy realized it until he realized it when he was on set. So he said, Angelica, just pop in and say some things. That's when they realized I could improv. So many of my lines were actually improv. Were written by me.
Yes.
I never got the credit for it, but that's how it works.
Actors take note. Improv is an important skill.
So when the infamous line that I know y'all love, I'm gonna repeat it. I know y'all love it. We were in a diner, and Candy's approaching Pray Tell about wanting a lip sync category, and they won't have it. He's like, who told you we was here, Carmen San Diego? You know, he's all these different things. And so they written a line, and Ryan Murphy, it wasn't landing for him, or he didn't, he was like, Angelica, come here. He was like, I want you to come up with a read, something that kind of hits at their femininity, because their issue with you is that you exude the femininity that they can't fully claim in public. So that's why you keep calling them girls. That's why you do these things and blah, 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 So he was like, just come up with something. So he was like, who told you we was here? So a little birdie. I said, no. Everybody know this is where you bottoms brunch. And it just became, and even me throwing the bread at him. I started doing that, and then they just started putting things in the script. They said, she's gonna throw it. So it was not initially in the script. And what was happening was, as a dark-skinned black woman who thought I was going on to a show as the third, fourth, or fifth member of the Sex and the City crew, that we would get into Miranda and Charlotte and we get into the things, and I realized, oh no, girl, they're trying to make you a C and D storyline. So I was as a Buddhist and a spiritual person, instead of complaining and erasing my good fortune, I showed up. All they needed to do was turn on the camera. And when they turned on the camera, a lot of the crew will talk about their experiences. I was just talking about where they're laughing and joking and enjoying, they're doing all kinds of other things, and I'm locked in. So there's a scene where late Ashley, the trans men are walking the category, and Candy is watching and drooling, and she's got her straw in her cup, and she's like, oh. That was, I don't know how many minutes before they even called action. So at some point, somebody said behind the scenes, start recording her. She's already going. So I made the cameras turn to me. It was one of those things where the spotlight was not immediately put on me. For various reasons that we can call out, colorism, all these things. We talked about these things. But talent rises to the top. And as much as things as people can say about me, that they want to say about me, ask somebody who's worked with me how I show up. And they'll tell you, she's amazing to work with. She brings great energy and she's prepared.
Because you know exactly who you are and what you are.
There's a reason we did this icon award today, right?
Really, like you know, and you're in full control of your talent and amazingness. I want to pivot a little bit because not only a storied acting career and iconic in your own right, but you started a tech company. Tell us more and tell us everything. What led to that and what were your reasons for starting it? And we'll start the discussion from there.
Sucking dick. That's what it started with. That's what it started with, because the situation was, as a black trans woman, I had been fired from one too many jobs. Especially as a waitress, when I was getting all the tips and the men was giving me extra money and doing things and the girls was not having
They
it.
got catty.
And they got catty on the job and I got fired after I said I would cut the bitch. I did say that, but in all fairness, I was joking. I was joking. I was.
Okay.
It was like, oh bitch, I'll cut you if you say that again. But it was not, I wasn't near her, I didn't run out. It was a thing. And so, what was the question? Oh yeah.
Trans tech.
So, after being fired from these places, after I would show my ID and it didn't match, I was faced with going into sex work, and I was actually trafficked into it. Trafficked. So many trans women were trafficked into trans work, sex work, because they were told, well, sweetie, what else are you going to do? You don't have the documentation. I know immigrants know about that, too. You don't have the documentation to get the right job and do certain things, but you're going to go on the job and they're going to call you all kinds of mans and faggots and all kind of things. And you can make $2.50 an hour and get called beautiful. That's what the starting price was back then, but you know, I raised it. And so,
That hard.
really value. And so I truly use that space as a spiritual space to learn my value, to keep saying this is not enough and I want more and I want more. So instead of posing on the websites, I started building and running the websites. Didn't know anything about HTML, CSS. I went to lynda.com at the time, that before it was LinkedIn Learning and whatever they did, and I taught myself coding. And then I started going to Upwork and Google. It was these freelance websites, and I would underbid the competition so I could build a portfolio showing what I could do. So when girls want to try to be me and think it's a look, I've had to do this, and this is what icons have to do at a certain point, I tell you. It just is, because you just have to. You have to set records straight.
Yeah.
I need my people to know that transition is not just on the outside, it is all that happens underneath. It is all the work of the years and the things that you do. And so in order to show up the way that I've showed up, I've had to have the history. I've had to take the hits and take the things, and you know, I lost my train of thought, but yeah.
Wouldn't take nothing for the journey is what I get from that.
Yes.
And I think that also leads into, especially as a performer, you know, this industry is so feast or famine. You never know, like, 1 minute you're up and 1 minute you're down, and apparently they say that's life, but we still got to keep trucking. So having this business on the side was able to generate, I'm assuming, extra revenue to help cover the fickleness of this industry. But I read, too, at the beginning, you were sleeping in your office and doing what it takes to make sure those bills are paid too, and that's iconic.
I had a membership at LA Fitness down the street of our Chicago office, so I would sleep in under my desk in uptown Chicago, and then I would go shower at the thing, and I would come back and open the office. And until at some point, Precious Brady Davis, a friend of mine, an old school friend of mine, I was sleeping on her couch, even though she had a studio apartment with her new fiance. You know, so it was about people who opened their space to me until I was able to build. One thing, this is why I have to say this, like, you have to get to a place you're tested. There are many times you're tested before you get to the space where you have to give it up or do certain things. That's why certain people don't know what to do right now, because things are being taken from them instead of them saying, take it. And that's what I did early on because I felt like if you think you can take something from me, take it. And so my value is not based on the barometer of what's going on out there. And that's why I got so mad about what Ryan Murphy did. I'm just going to speak on it.
Thank you. I was afraid to ask about it.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I'm going to show you how to stand in your strength right now. Don't be afraid. You don't get to play like you're the advocate and you're one of our allies when you're just capitalizing off of us. Because where are you when it counts? When we're being attacked and called terrorists, where are you? So at the very least, you have to do due diligence by us when we are in your hands. So, when I was in this outfit, knowing that I'm going on to the next season of American Horror Story as an all-black cast, I'm not saying nothing because I'm good. And then he's telling me all this stuff and we're doing all this, and then all of a sudden it just goes quiet. No emails, no this, but you're the one that says you have a black trans friend that you can call and blah, 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 but you don't call and tell me nothing. So then Marvel calls. I've been auditioning for Marvel for 3 years with Sarah Finn at their casting. She loves me. Hey, Sarah. So, 3 years. Didn't know what the role was. Marvel keeps stuff under wraps.
They really do.
So 3 years later, they said, we now need to know your availability. If you're available to do this role from April something to something. And I was like, yes. Tell them yes. Yes, I'm ready. Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm ready for Marvel. Yes, girl. And my agent said, no, we can't. You're under contract with Ryan Murphy and FX, so you have to ask permission first.
What?
So I asked permission, and they told me, no, because you're going to be on the next season. And as it kept getting closer, they said, and my business affairs checked in because Marvel checked in again. Are you sure? And business affairs said, yep, as far as we know, she's coming back this next season. So then when they started pulling the contracts and I had my people calling, I was like, okay, when we get to work then? They said, oh, sorry, we're pulling contracts right now. You're not coming back.
Wow.
No email from Ryan Murphy. No call, no nothing. So, bitch, I don't know what happened.
That silence was deafening.
Deafening.
What?
That's why. So when I finally spoke up in the Hollywood Reporter and said all that I said, it was a year after all that happened. I wasn't in a place of hot revenge. Ooh, it cooled down. What'd they say? Revenge is better served.
It's cold, yeah. You serve it cold.
Because what I said was this, I realized, you have no real power. The Wiz. You have no real power. You need me. And then I also realized you need these theatrics. You need the money. You need all that. Because my voice is stronger than all of that. With all your money, you could not make the impact influence that my voice makes, and I'm a black trans woman. That's the truth. They hide behind these titles and privilege and all these things. And I will stand in the consequence of being myself, of standing in my truth. So what I said to myself was, no, one thing you won't do is take my voice or my truth. So however this lands, however it sounds, call me, whatever you want to call me. But this is what happened to me. And so I again, The Little Mermaid, love that movie.
Same.
I realized that they were telling me, bitch, you want to be a part of this world? Give me that voice.
Ooh.
You can't speak on Palestine. You can't speak on all these other things. The Congo, Apple, and all these different things. No, because we need brand deals. So then there are people who then get to shut their mouths and play a revolutionary, but not be one.
Now, since you empowered me to ask this question, I was thinking about it last night and thinking, can you really have trans liberation without consideration for the oppression that's going on in other communities?
Absolutely not. Again, none of us are free until all of us are free. And if we have not learned from Assata Shakur's story, we have nothing to lose but our chains. That woman died free. Also, in her story, when they were brutalizing her and tried to imprison her, where did they first put her? In a men's prison. This is connected. Do you know that them not seeing my womanhood is them not seeing the womanhood in so many black women? Certain womanhood is only reserved for white women. So to buck up against that narrative, to live against that narrative, that's why they're coming for trans people. Because we've been trying to show y'all, you ain't got to do that. You can live your life. Do you? And they're like, shut that bitch up.
Right, silence her. But we're not going to be silenced.
But we won't be silenced. I don't give a damn what you try to take from me. You won't take my integrity.
That part.
So with that time, maybe one last question. And I think kind of pivoting because we've covered a lot and now leading and looking toward the future. At some point, this administration and this time period will end. What advice would you give to this audience, this queer audience, the non-binary people, the trans people in this audience here, and then also whoever may watch this? What advice would you give them, knowing that some of us won't make it through this?
So knowing that is understanding you don't know what the hell is about to happen because you don't know if it's going to be over. He's setting up shop. He's building a ballroom. That don't look like somebody that's trying to leave. And so the issue is that y'all only want to respond when white men like Jimmy Kimmel are affected, but not when black women like Joy Reid is affected.
Come through. Come through. Come through.
So some of you might know I have a podcast.
She sure does.
No opportunity wasted now. No opportunity wasted. Comes from my Buddhist practice. And it's rooted in the idea that people are always asking, what can I do? What should I do? Can I even do anything? And I always say, when people say, when is the right time to speak up? When? Now. Don't you waste this damn opportunity. And I'm gonna tell you, to not waste the opportunity means you have to get good at the work. Taking the temperature of the environment. Knowing the room you're walking into. Knowing the capacity of the people that are listening to you. Maybe I shouldn't go there because they can't handle that.
But go and take us there anyways.
But I can see that you can, so I'm going into it. So, but sometimes you in front of a bitch where lights are out. Is anybody there? So so you got to try to be like, okay. So you know that when someone shoots someone, that's a crime.
Not remedial.
And so you know when someone buys the gun that they shoot the person with, they call that an accessory. Accessory. They go down. They are complicit too. I know y'all hear what I'm saying here, but anyway.
Every word.
So what I'm saying is, what was I saying?
These next few years that we have to get
So
through.
what I'm saying is this: don't wait until the fire hits your front door. That fire should come from within, as we know from our ancestors, right? The fire within. And so, see yourself in other people's oppression. And you have to do that because understanding white supremacy and what's happening is they're selling you a story of heaven and hell in the afterlife. Buddhism talks about the 10 worlds that are right here, right now. One of them is hell. One of them is heaven. And they're all within each other and temporary. So even in the midst of hell, you can access heaven. In the midst of heaven, you can experience hell. So don't sit and think that that's happening over there. And wait until you experience your own hell and start crying and then nobody's caring about what you're going through because you didn't care about what they were going through.
That part right there.
Now, we have to speak up now. It's not just what is militarized police and all this stuff happening now. Why weren't we speaking up when the kids were getting shot with rubber bullets on the campus under Biden? When they were changing the language and saying that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism to college students who are studying these things and becoming experts in those fields. Go fuck with somebody else, not me, not today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Do you want to make... Oh, no, please, fuck shit down.
Come on, Duchess.
The Duchess knows how to swear. Number one, we want to thank you so much for honoring and gracing us with your presence, not only here, but also throughout the work you do in the world, your advocacy, your speaking out, your staying not silent, starting a podcast and helping people and uplifting people and continuing to do artistry. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell them. She's in rehearsal, so it was a schedule.
It's after rehearsal, so we actually are on tour right now with a play called Freedom Riders, and it's a play that is. We started in Montgomery, Alabama. Actually, are we? This is Atlanta, right? Tickets are available right now for the show tonight at Morehouse. So if you're available, the show's at 7:30. It's an incredible show, and I believe the tickets are free.
Someone give me a ticket right now, please. Thank you.
Yes, the tickets are free. And so it's a wonderful story about, it's not a story teaching people about how we've experienced police brutality. It's a story affirming us of what we already know. That this has happened so long ago, and one of my characters I portray is a trans woman from the Civil War times. And so hearing her story is such a blessing.
Is it the first trans woman who spoke before Congress?
Yes, it is.
Oh my God.
Yes, it is.
Stop.
Yes, you know that, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a screenplay I want to write that has your name all written over.
Well, call me.
Yes.
Again, they're telling me.
Sure. We got some audience questions we want to get to. I also should tell you in the meantime, while you pick the person, I'm also working on a film, an iconic film, playing an iconic person. But I can't really talk about it. But I can just let you know that I am working on this with Cheryl Dunier directing.
Yes.
And with Janelle Monáe co-executive producing.
Yes.
So I just need y'all to put pressure on these people to say yes and give us money. That's what we're waiting on. That's what we're doing right now. We're pitching. But go ahead.
Project.